We're here on Virtual Media Day with Lady Hornets coach Jory Collins. First, coach, what do you feel are your team's strengths heading into the upcoming season?
I think definitely our guard play. Last year we had all of our guards that played significant minutes were freshmen and sophomore. Best thing about freshmen, they become sophomores, or sophomores are now juniors. They had a full season to get their feet wet in our league, and they've all had great off seasons and great preseasons. So I really think those 4 or 5 kids are going to be really good this year.
What are your biggest concerns heading into the season?
Obviously, last year we lost 4 seniors. 3 of them didn't get a chance to play much at all, but Allie Volkins, obviously, I thought was the best player in the league. She got 18 points, 12 rebounds a game. Replacing her points and rebounds are going to be easier than replacing her leadership and just competitiveness and how she kind of put our team on her back last year. But we recruited some good players and brought some in, and I think they're going to be able to fill in for her, but obviously that's a big void that we have to replace.
What are the keys to success for your team this year?
Last year we turned the ball over way too many times. I think it was one of the first seasons we've ever had where our opponents had more shot attempts than we did. Part of that we had to be conservative defensively because we didn't have much depth at all. And we had to play it a little closer to the vest and couldn't go out and try to create turnovers, which shouldn't have made us turn it over more. What we did, we had 2 point guards that were freshmen that were playing, and that's tough on those guys. But I think a big key for us this year is hopefully we're going to be forcing more turnovers than we commit and get ourselves some extra possessions instead of letting the other team have extra possessions.
Coach, what are your overall expectations for the 2011-12 season?
Same as usual. I expect us to compete for championships, for regular season championships, conference tournament championships, to make the NCAA tournament and try to make a run, as far as we can go in postseason play.
Talk more specifically about your recruiting class.
We brought in 4 freshmen, all 4s and 5s. Marissa Quick from Cheney, Kansas, 6'3" post player. Sarah Wood from Superior, Nebraska, 6'2" post player. Catherine Flott, 6'1", 4'5" man from Opie, and Chandler Stewart, who we're going to play at the 4 from Bishop MIAA in Kansas City. Our young players, we needed to replace our front court. We looked at some junior college kids and didn't think that there was anybody we were going to be able to get that was going to make as good an impact as these guys were even as freshmen. So we're expecting them to come in and play right away and make a huge impact. I think Marissa Quick has a chance to start for us and a chance to be a big impact player and dominate the paint early, hopefully on both ends of the floor. She's shown me a lot more than I was expecting out of her. Those other guys are coming along great. They can score. Defensively they're all behind, but they're coming along. Heather Robin, who's going to be a senior for us, transferred from Wichita State, played at Hutch Junior College. I always forget when people ask us about our new players because she seems like she's been here for 2 or 3 years already. She's going to play some point guard for us and is really going to give us a steady veteran presence that we haven't had. And she can shoot it lights out, can score it in a lot of different ways. So she's going to make a big impact for us as well.
All right, Coach, we've talked about your recruiting class. Let's talk about the returning players.
As I mentioned earlier, we had 4, 5, or 6 players that were freshmen and sophomore last year that got to play a ton of minutes, got a year under their belt. Our sophomores this year, Rihanna Egley, Haley Parker, were both freshmen, played the 1 for us last year, did a good job. They kind of played it by committee, have really grown as players. They're much more comfortable, much more relaxed. They've been through the fire now, and you can see that they've learned from their experience and are much more steady and much more comfortable making plays. Kelsey Balcom was freshman of the year. Obviously last year had a really good year as a first-year player. I think she averaged double figures and 6 rebounds a game. They're all 3 extremely hard workers, have had great post seasons and off seasons, and I expect all of them, to raise their level of play this year. Our juniors, Jocelyn Cummings and Rachel Haniff, both started every single game for us last year. We're young, but double-figure scorers, big contributors. they've grown as players in their year. They're going to be right there again leading our team. They're upperclassmen now. Kayla Kruger and David Logston were role players for us last year. They've improved tremendously since last year. I think that amount of time they got to play last year really helped them develop, and they're going to be battling for playing time as well. So, we have a lot of new ones. We have a lot of returners. We're young overall. 7 out of 10 of our scholarship players are freshmen and sophomore. But we have a good mix of upperclassmen as well. So I think it's a good fit, for everybody team-wise, that we got them spread out. And the talent level's high. It's just going to be how consistent those guys can play, the young ones.